India is an adventurous paradise. You head out for a holiday, which quickly turns into a survival situation. A dream turns into a nightmare.
I'm thirsty, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I'm lost.
Shelter, water, and food become a priority. A fire to keep you warm. But how? I'm Chandan Lahiri from OTS Survival School. I'll give you some tips and show you some tricks to use in a self-reliant situation. Do not think problems can only happen to other people. It can happen to you.
When you're out for an adventure, you know one of the worst things that can happen? It's a medical emergency. And a person could be injured, could have broken a leg, become unconscious, hypothermia, dehydration, a lot of things could have gone wrong. And in such an extreme case, where it's a medical emergency and evacuation is necessary, we need to figure out a way how to evacuate that person. And you don't have paramedics, you don't have an ambulance to call. So what we need to do is improvise what I call a field stretcher. And here's some of the things which we'll use to make that field stretcher.
So there are two branches. How do we make a stretcher out of that?
Well, that's your basic structure. We'll use the two branches as the two load-carrying poles. And what we'll do is, if you see, I've got a couple of jackets here. Now the jackets are going to form the bed. So we'll weave the poles into the jacket, and that's what's going to form the base, which will be the stretcher. So what we need to do is lay one jacket out, take one pole and slide it through the arms. You want to try that side? Take the other pole and slide it through the other arm. Right, so we have, and what we'll do is zip this up and tape it up. So that's one done. We'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Right, now we got the two arms in of this jacket. So we have ourselves a field stretcher. Now what you need to remember is much of our body weight when we are lying down is centered in the center of our body. And that is where the two jackets are meeting. So there needs to be a certain amount of overlap between the two jackets so that once the victim is lying here, they don't slip right through. So that's something that we can put here. And one can rest their heads there. What you need to remember is the poles that you use need to be as straight as possible and certainly sturdy, because when you're lifting the victim, it shouldn't bend, it shouldn't crack, making your situation far worse. What I'll also do is I'll put a second pole, because the length of this is not long enough for the person to lie comfortably, because the feet, I don't want it to dangle. So we'll put a second pole here where the feet can rest, the head will rest there. And we have Bharat who's joining us, who's going to be the victim. Bharat? And we need to pick it up together. And that pole is a little bit crooked. So when it gets off the ground, it's going to twist a little bit. So be careful about that. And he's going to turn because the weight is going to fall on that side. So you need more pressure on your right arm. Right? Are you ready? Okay, here goes. At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the way. And now we have ourselves a field stretcher. So that's how you make a field stretcher. It's very convenient, very quickly done, and you can make it with two poles which you'll find around in a jungle and with things you'll find in your backpack. Interesting thing to learn?
Yes.
Very quickly done. You can make it far more sturdy, and we'll look at it in another episode, but that's a quick way you can make a field stretcher. Learn to adapt, improvise, innovate, and overcome. To learn more tips and tricks, visit this site. I'm Chandan Lahiri, and I hope to see you soon at the OTS Survival School. Leave nothing but footprints. Bring back nothing but memories.